All right, y'all already know what time it is. Got a tech testimony where this one is different from most tech testimonies that we listen to or different stories that we hear. And we're going to learn why once I bring the guest on and he tells his story about him breaking into tech. One thing I want to give everybody a heads up about is that this is the last week. Not last week. This is literally the last day to get VIP access for TechpreneurCon, which is Tech is the New Black's tech event that's coming up this weekend. It's a 2-day event. We have a long list of speakers, a lot of cool stuff. Of course, we got some hiring opportunities for those that are looking to break into tech. But the main portion or the main focus of the event is collaboration, networking, education between people that are in tech, founders, executive level, and those that are looking to scale. So have a lot of resources, a lot of cool stuff is going to happen at the event. It's very different from other events. But again, for those of y'all that are looking for tech jobs, if you've done a tech boot camp already, definitely pull up to TechpreneurCon so that way you can get access to some internal hiring opportunities that we're going to have with tech company that is mass hiring for mainly remote roles, mainly six-figure roles. So definitely make sure you comment those that are on YouTube and LinkedIn. Check out the description and you'll see the link to be able to get access, whether VIP access or general access to the event. Again, today is the last day for VIP access to TechpreneurCon. Thalia, just go to the description and you'll see it there. You'll see the link in the description. If you're having any trouble, then you can, another option is for you to go to techpreneurcon.com. My bad, y'all. I've been working all day, so my brain is a little mush right now. Anyway, on LinkedIn, on Instagram, just comment tech event, and then you'll get the access link for that. But on YouTube and LinkedIn, just look at the description below, and you'll see a link that you can click on to be able to get access to the event. Again, today's the last day for VIP. Make sure people know, because I don't want nobody cussing me out, because last time people was upset because they said I didn't mention it enough. So anyway, that being said, we get into the purpose of tonight, which is what I'm very excited about. Actually, I need to bring him on. Julian, did you send a request? I don't see a request for you to join the stream. Okay, I see you. Okay.
I'm trying to send a request now.
Julian, can you send a request to join the stream? I'll try to find you.
Yeah, 1 second.
All right, you sent it. Okay, cool. All right, y'all, he's about to come on in just a second. On YouTube and LinkedIn, y'all can see him already, but I'm waiting for him to join specifically on Instagram. And y'all, excuse me if I seem all over the place. Like, my brain is really kind of mush right now. So I'm just, did you send I don't see the request yet. Okay, there we go. There we go.
I sent the request.
All right, it's accepting it now. There we go. What's up, Trey Days? Thalia, Nikki. What's going on, bro? How you doing?
What's going on, my guy? I'm doing good. How about yourself?
Bro, I'm doing good, man. Doing good. So, yeah, bro. So, as I was saying offline before we hopped on here, I'm excited about this conversation, excited for people to hear your story, your testimony in particular, because it is different. I'm going to go ahead and kind of give y'all a bit of a spoiler. You know, y'all have seen me interview people that broke into tech and they were telling their story where they got a job. You know, 3 months after the boot camp, you've seen me interview people that got a job a month after the boot camp. Y'all see me interview plenty of people that have gotten their job before they even finished the boot camp. I interviewed probably about 7 or 8 people that got jobs before they even finished the boot camp. But in this case, Julian, who we're talking to, he actually is his story is that it was the longest that I've ever seen, but he still was able to break into the industry. We're going to be able to hear from him, like, you know, basically like, okay, how was he able to maintain his grit? How long it actually took him, any highs and lows that he felt. emotionally, mentally, spiritually throughout that time, what that was like, especially given the different shifts in the market. In the time frame, we're going to learn about how, at one point it was when the market was at its toughest. The market is better now in terms of companies hiring again than it was this time last year. It's better now and it's getting better. Nevertheless, he was able to really just thug it out through that really tough part of everything that was happening. And so, so we're going to learn from the important. I want to make sure y'all pay attention to this conversation, pay attention to what he shares, because many of you that have done a boot camp, I've met plenty of people that have done a boot camp, but because they didn't get a job in 2 or 3 months or 4 months or 5 months, they threw in the towel and stopped trying. And I've met people who haven't done a boot camp and are like, okay, well, I plan on doing a boot camp, but I keep seeing these super fast examples and testimonies, but what if it doesn't work out for me like that? So I really believe his testimony, his story can give a completely different perspective and that all of us really can learn from. So Julian, bro, thank you so much, man, for making time on your Sunday evening to come on here, bro.
I appreciate you for having me, man. Definitely. It's an honor, you know what I mean? And actually, you inspired me. I witnessed your journey from the very beginning. I think back in 2022, I came across your interview on the podcast To Talk, which is known around now as like the famous interview, of course. And your story just really, really resonated with me and myself. Honestly, at that time and point in my life, I was working my prior employer in the financial service industry, which I had a pretty good, decent paying job. And I just felt like at that time I was seeking change. And I just felt like I was kind of stagnant in my life, personally and professionally at that time. So I was looking for something to do and transition to as far as career wise. Yeah. And I came across that interview and it really, really motivated me and gave me like some insight to like, hey, let's see what it's hitting for, And so I took the boot camp. December 2022 is when I seen the interview. I want to say I started the boot camp January 2023. Yeah. And it took me about 5 weeks to complete it, I believe. So I think I completed it about February 2023. And it's self-paced. I pretty much, navigated through the boot camp fairly easily.
That's a pretty good pace in terms of you doing it in 5 weeks, because most people do finish it anywhere between like 3 to 6 weeks. So that makes sense. Yeah.
So at that time, again, I was just trying to figure out how to pivot into. I had many different things I was interested in, possibly even doing, because I've worked in my prior past work history. I've worked in financial services. I've worked in healthcare. I've worked in labor. I've done many things. So man, I was just trying to find my niche as far as like trying to find some stability, financial long-term, like security stability in a career path. So I felt like tech really gave a lot of those, advantages. So I just took a chance, man. I stepped out on faith. And when I completed the boot camp, I immediately just start like in mass sending out, I want to say, as far as like applying for jobs. And again, meanwhile, I was still in my role at my prior employer. I was there for about a year at that point. I was making pretty decent money at that time. So I kind of was complacent at that moment, but I still was not like thinking ahead, like, what can I do moving forward? Because I was thinking about getting into the trucking industry. I was going to get my CDLs. I was also, there's a backstory to this reason why I was thinking about this as far as transition. I was thinking about joining the railroad, being a train conductor, all kind of things. And fast forward, you'll understand why I brought that in the fold as well. But the boot camp gave me a lot of insight, and I could dive deep into that, but I don't want to, make this long-winded.
Yeah, no, you're totally good, bro. So to give people perspective, for those that are just joining, it's all these people popping in and popping out. So you started the boot camp in basically January of last year.
Correct.
So almost a year and a half ago, probably like, what is that, a year and 4 months ago, something like that, 4 or 5 months ago. Anyway, you started then, it took you 5 weeks to complete it. But if you can give people just, so we'll start with the spark notes and then we'll kind of dive deeper into everything.
Understood.
So when exactly did you actually start at your first company?
I actually just started Monday last week, 4/15. That's my first day officially in the tech industry.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So that's why I thought this conversation, I mean, either way, we're going to have this conversation, but I really in particular felt this conversation was really important for people to hear, because I'm really big on, whenever I'm posting content about breaking into tech or getting a career in tech or a tech adjacent career, 6-figure tech career, working remote, things like that. Of course, people see these incredible testimonies where it's like, yo, Cyrus got in tech like 2 months after finishing his boot camp. Yo, this person got in tech at this time frame or this time frame or this time frame. People keep seeing these stories that seem so extravagant. And sometimes I will say I definitely word things to catch people's attention, but I don't ever try to like conjure up how, like, I don't intentionally interview people who got in tech faster, like just cause I'm like, yo, these are just the stories of people that hit me up.
Right.
But nevertheless, whether it's on purpose or not, what I have created, what my platform has created, for some people does seem as if, really, some people it gives, I don't want to say false hope, but some people it gives a sense of, oh, it's gonna happen that fast for me too. I definitely will take blame for that, but I could do a much better job at communicating. Hey, everybody, look, with a lot of these people, with a lot of you, yeah, you'll get a job really fast. Yeah, it'll seem really easy for some of you.
Right.
For other people, it'll take a lot of grit. It's going to take a lot of hard work, especially depending on what role y'all want to do in tech. And so I was excited about this conversation because, yeah, in reality, yours took the longest that I've seen so far, where basically a year and a half. And so I love this conversation because I hope this gives like kind of more of a sober mind to everybody, where it's like, yo, this industry's popping. Obviously, the course is crazy affordable. So it wasn't something where it's like, oh man, I spent all of this money. Nevertheless, you still put in that time, that work that was longer than most people. So you started last week at your company. Congrats about that.
Appreciate you. Appreciate that. Definitely.
So during that year and a half process, if you could just tell us, what was that like for you emotionally? Because I mean, you've seen my content, so at any point in time, were you like, man, this dude, like, he capping, or man, this isn't legit? Like, and be real, like, take us through the different emotions and mental state that you went through, but also tell us how you were able to continue going.
Yeah, sure. Again, at that time, I was already in my prior career path as far as in the financial service industry. I had a pretty good, decent paying job, but I felt like I, was feeling kind of stagnant and felt like I reached my ceiling within that role. And I didn't feel like the trajectory moving forward was going to, secure that long-term financial stability, which is what I'm, of course, searching for. But at that time, I just was trying to figure out, I sat back and I've witnessed many other testimonies as far as I've been watching, people come on your platform. In the meantime, I felt like, I never got to the point where I was like, damn, like, why them and not me? You know what I mean? I just pretty much sat back, clapped my hands, and, was feeling mentally like, it's, when it's my due season, my time will come. But again, I kind of was dragging my feet a little bit as well, as far as applying myself, doing it, intangibles. And because it's just like, I literally completed the course, attached it to my resume, optimized my LinkedIn, and just was applying. I kind of was doing myself a disservice because I wasn't really like doing all the intangibles, which is the more important things that I could get into, to really, really make yourself the ideal candidate, because it's a very, very competitive market. So I was feeling, I want to say emotionally, like, hey, whenever it happens, or if it happens. But again, things in my life was happening personally, that I was kind of, straying away from focusing solely on trying to do whatever it took at that current time. But I really, really I felt like I had many highs and lows. But again, I kind of got sidetracked because I had personal things going on in my life, and I was still kind of working a decent job. So
Yeah.
I didn't feel like I was in need of like, okay, this needs to happen now. But you know what I mean? So that kind of was, I want to say, as far as the mental, emotional state I was going through at that time. But
that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, because most people that are looking to break into tech, as you know, most of them either don't have a job or they're not getting paid good. I think that's the number one selling point for most people to pursue a career in tech, is that it's like, yo, you make a bunch of bread. I'm curious with you, since you are already making good money before getting in tech, what was your why? Like, why did you want to be in the industry? Was it for potentially eventually more money, or like what were your reasons?
Great question. My reasons primarily was long-term financial stability as far as trajectory ups, like scaling. In my current company, again, I felt like I kind of reached that ceiling.
Yeah.
And honestly, I felt like I was just working a job that I wasn't happy with, at that current time. Although I was making a fairly decent money, I pretty got a nice pay bump from pivoting into tech, which we can get into that as well. Oh yeah. Yeah. So I just, I felt like tech has so many different, like so many benefits and perks to, the field. Man, I'll get into that when we get there. I don't want to, jump the gun, but yeah, there's many reasons why I wanted to get in tech. I just believe that, there's a future in tech as far as the industry itself, even now, but moving forward, tech is going to be in all other different industries, the long-term stability, security, the benefits, the scaling is ridiculous how you can scale up. So
it's crazy.
Absolutely.
I love this so much, man. Like, stuff like this gets me like really hyped, really excited.
For sure.
So I see a few comments, and my bad, y'all. So we're gonna get to everyone's questions and comments after he tells his story, because a lot of your questions are going to be answered as he talks and as Julian shares more of his story, his testimony. One thing I do want to address, though, for those that are asking about what he does in tech and what course he took. Correct me if I'm wrong, Julian. You are an SDR, and I know you did course careers.
Correct.
You're an SDR, correct?
SDR, BDR, or technically BDR, but it's all the same.
Yeah. For real. And so, and so, for anybody who's interested in a discount code to the boot camp that he did, they have a variety of other roles other than just SDR. But of course, we are speaking about the tech sales course. Most people that have seen me or Anthony O'Neill, who was the show that I was on, most people that have seen us talk about course careers tend to go towards tech sales, which is one of the best roles in tech. It has one of the highest ceilings. You can definitely within at least within a few years scale to $250,000, $400,000, $500,000. And I'm not talking 10 years or 15 years down the line. There are plenty of people that I've interviewed on the podcast and here on the stream that are already making over $200,000 just 2 years into their tech sales career. So the ceiling is really crazy, really exponential. Anyway, all that being said, if anybody wants a discount link on YouTube and LinkedIn, if you're new here, just go to the description, but right below the video, and you'll see a drop down, and there's the discount link. The discount is attached to that, to where all it'll be is just $449. That's it. Or you could they even have a payment plan with that, which is crazy because that's so low. On Instagram, y'all know, just comment SDR. Y'all already see it pinned. Just comment SDR, and you'll get a automated DM. I'm gonna tell everybody something real quick. Whenever y'all are getting DMs about the tech event or tech boot camps and stuff like that, those are like automations. So that's not like me manually sending y'all things. If you comment something, you'll get an automated. It's like an automated pre-message. And so I like to say that because I think it's important for people to understand that, that even for us to my brain is so off. I'm running a really little sleep. But anyway, it's important for y'all to know that, because I like to be very transparent about the technology that I'm using and the automations that are being used, and just let people know, hey, if you're getting a message about a boot camp or something like that, it's because you commented a certain. Yeah, somebody said, yes, we are aware. You'd be surprised how many people are not aware I get a lot of people that message me and they think that I manually sent them something, or sometimes somebody will comment a trigger word accidentally, and then they'll get a message about something. They're like, "Yo, why did you send me this?" And I'll pop in the DM and be like, "Yo, I didn't send it to like. Technically, I didn't send it. Like you commented something and it sent it to you." So you'd be really surprised. I was shocked to find out how many people don't really realize what it is. But anyway, so let's get back to the conversation. So, bro, so you started the company last week.
Yep, last Monday.
So last Monday. Now it took you roughly a year and a half. You told us about how you were able to maintain your grit, how you were able to keep going, all of that good stuff. Do you take us into how you ended up getting this role in particular? Because I mean, if after a year and a half, I'm sure you did interviews. I'm sure you probably got through the first round, second round, maybe third round. What do you feel that you did differently in your interview process with this company? If you did anything different, maybe you didn't. But what do you feel you learned throughout all of your interviewing processes and journeys? And what do you feel that you ultimately did different with this opportunity? And of course, share it in a way that it can help other people in their interviewing, applying process.
Interesting enough, you wouldn't believe it. I've only made it to the third round interview once. I probably applied to over maybe 200 different tech companies, plus at least.
Yeah.
And I've had a few first round interviews, of course. I want to say I could probably count on maybe one or maybe 6 or 7 times I made it to the second round interview. And I've only made it to the third round interview once, which is the current company I'm at now. Yep. But it's a very competitive market. And I say, to answer your question, you really, really have to separate yourself from the competition. It's not like just because you do the boot camp, you put yourself in position, of course. But at the same time, there is things, I want to say, intangibles that you have to do as far as, interview prep and also optimizing your resume to have it tailored to maybe that specific role more, or, you got to, join those webinars or join them Discords on LinkedIn, tap in with that community and, really, really get those gems that people that's already in the tech space, that are dishing out there. Cause that's things I was kind of still, I never like strayed away. Throughout that whole period of that year, I was still applying, and I kind of was. I ain't gonna lie, I was like dragging my feet, not really applying myself, like as best as I really could. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's just to be clear cut, honest. I was definitely like highly interested trying to get in the field, but I wasn't really doing the small things. Well, the important things, which are the intangibles. And then when I finally start getting some feedback, which is the top of this year, I really I even got like a resume coach. I start joining those Discords, those webinars. The girl Kayla B that was on your podcast, or you were on hers, either or, she got a good thing going on too. And she's dropping a lot of gems. You got to really be active, proactive in your throughout your journey. And honestly, it's not just going to be given to you just because you take this boot camp. I'm gonna just be clear cut honest.
Yeah, that's so important.
It's not going to be just handed to you. You got to really put the footwork and really, doing yourself a disservice if you don't really apply yourself with those, things, resources that's out there. And you got to seek those out. Ain't nobody going to give it to you,
Yeah, that's real.
But the interviewing process, to finalize the question, I want to say I just really, honed in on interview prep. Also, knowing what it takes as far as like how to separate myself from competition, because I believe there were over 150 candidates for the particular role that I got, and out of those 150, I was the one candidate that got hired for the role, and that was pretty cool to me. So it's like I don't have no technical background, I don't have no degree, I don't have no college like technical education as far as that. I just took the boot camp, but it definitely worked out, and I love it.
Yo, that's so fire. Yeah. I love that so much, man. Yeah, one of the things that I really love about this industry is how it's becoming less and less necessary to need a degree. I mean, especially if we're talking roles like tech sales, and a degree is completely irrelevant because you can't get a degree in tech sales.
Right.
You know, I don't even think you can get a degree in normal sales, you know, when we talk about college. But so yeah, that's why I love Tech Bootcamp so much, is because of, you know, not only do they give you the training and stuff that you need, but also just how affordable they are. You know, the time frame where they don't take ridiculously long. So instead of having to go to school for 2 years or 4 years, you could do 2 months, like, you know, like basically what you done. You did, it was less than 2 months for you, but, you know, basically same thing. And so now I love that so much. Yeah, for those of y'all, yeah, we can see the comments for Hollywood Jr. on YouTube. Your comment where you asked what boot camp did he do. So we talked about that a little bit earlier. If you look at the description, look at the drop down, and you'll see the description of what course he did, because it's not just the boot camp, he did a specific course. So if you look at that, you'll see all the information there. Yeah. So anyway, all right. So moving on from there. So I appreciate the honesty so much when you mentioned how you didn't really give it your all. And,
yeah, in the beginning,
you know,
yeah.
For a few reasons. Obviously, you didn't need a job, you know,
Right.
But nevertheless, you kept going. Because I bumped into people that, because they didn't need it, they barely tried at all, and they eventually just kind of threw in the towel and gave up.
Yeah.
And so I love the fact that you were still like, all right, let me continue pursuing this. Let me continue trying this. All right, let me go ahead and step it up and take it more serious. I think
Absolutely.
That's a really dope thing. Now, so you made it to the final round with this company. They hired you out of 150 people. So when they sent you the offer letter, what was that? When you found out that you got the job, what was that moment like? And you also, if you could tell us, you mentioned that you were already making pretty good money before, but even though you're in an entry-level role, you still had a pay bump transitioning from the industry you were in before into now tech. So if you could tell us, what was that feeling like, that moment like, when you actually got the offer from the company, and around how much was that pay bump from you transitioning from the industry you were already in to this entry-level tech role?
Yeah, great question. Prior to answering the question, I want to say, before receiving our offer letter, again, I told you I was looking to make a drastic change prior to getting my offer letter, even going into that past year. And I told you I was interested in possibly getting my CDLs. I was even going to join the railroad. I applied to being a train conductor. Crazy enough, I got an offer letter from the railroad for a train conductor position. I had to take my pre-screening and everything. They was ready to go. And this is prior to me receiving my tech offer.
Yeah.
So honestly, I wasn't opposed to taking that offer for the railroad conductor, but that's not ultimately what my passion, what I wanted to do. But I was like, hey, something has to shake. Like, I gotta bust a move. You know what I mean? And then 2 weeks later, fast forward to your question, I received my tech offer, man, and like I was ecstatic. I was like, I couldn't even. I was lost for words. I'm gonna be honest with you, because it was just like finally, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because after all this time, you know what I mean, and it just seemed like when one door opened, they all started to open, and it's like to be honest, again, and just to backtrack from, I want to say November 2023. My company that I was with as a loan support analyst, they had like 6% layoffs. I was affected by the layoffs. So
Okay.
I went in displacement effectively January 2024. So basically I was unemployed technically, but I was in displacement, still getting my salary, but I didn't technically have a job. So I really went in overdrive, started to like, all right, the time is now. Either I'm gonna go get my CDLs, I'm about to go join this railroad, or I gotta bust a move. I gotta bust a move. You feel me? So the railroad offer letter came first, but prior to that, I was already applying to like mass tech companies. I started doing my due diligence. I started optimizing my resume, joining those discords on LinkedIn. I really started getting proactive to really like, and I feel like if I would have had this mindset 6-8 months ago, I would have probably made that pivot sooner.
Oh yeah.
But when I got that offer letter though, I was definitely like, man, this is like
Oh, you cut out.
unbelievable. Are you still there?
Okay, yeah, we can hear you now. Yeah, you good.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I was gonna say when I got that offer letter, man, I was ecstatic. I was like, this is everything. Honestly, like as far as passion wise, what I see myself doing long term. Like I wasn't opposed to doing those other things because I've worked in various different fields, but this is something I know that I could grow in, build some long term security, and actually would take passion doing long term. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? But
Wow, bro, that's so fire.
finally, to answer the last part of your question, I was, I want to say at about almost 43 a year in my last company, and I got hired on my offer. I received that. I want to say that end up beginning middle of March, and my pay bump was 20K my base because you get a base salary and on top of
Yeah.
your OTE, and we get an extra 20K on top of our base. So I want to say I got like a almost like a
A
20K
double.
pay bump. Damn near. You
Oh,
might as well say it's basically double.
yeah. That's
Basically.
crazy. Out the
Basically.
gate, it's so crazy because you, like you mentioned, you were basically at the ceiling. You were at the ceiling in your last role or the last industry you were in. And
Yep.
now you switched over to entry level in tech.
And it's double,
And the
basically.
entry level is basically doubled your income. Bro,
Exactly.
that's so, and yeah, and like the numbers you're talking about, as you know, are still very entry level. So, bro, the
Mm-hmm.
amount of money, like if you continue with that same grit, work ethic, all that stuff, bro, the amount of money that you're gonna scale and make is gonna be crazy.
Oh,
It's
for
gonna be
sure.
crazy.
For sure.
Yeah, I love this so much, man. That's incredible.
Yeah, it was
Incredible.
the best pivot move I want to say I've made in my professional career, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
there's so many, that work-life balance. There's so much flexibility, the luxury of, working from home or, being hybrid. Well, technically I'm
Yeah.
hybrid, my rotation, but the tech
Yeah.
field is where it's at. Believe that.
Yeah. So,
He ain't
so
telling
let's
y'all nothing wrong.
so let's dive into that, bro. So you start touching on it. So you basically doubled your income, and so this is your new floor, which is crazy. This is your new floor, and it's only going to go up from here. And aside from that, you also mentioned that you're working hybrid. So how does that breakdown work? So you're remote. How many days and how many days do you go into the office?
So starting out, we have a ramp up period, uh, particularly until I start, going to get meeting my metrics or my KPIs. But to answer your question, my hybrid schedule, I go in the office 3 days a week and 2 days I can work remote. And then that could change moving forward once I, get comfortable because I'm in training technically. And then once I'm pretty much out of training, out of ramp up, I can choose to opt work probably full time remote or still have a flexible schedule. So that's pretty cool. And I love the be having that luxury. You know what I mean? Because it's convenient. But no, that's definitely it's a lot of perks. I want to say a lot of we get we get like unlimited PTO. And I don't want to fast track anything, but we get unlimited PTO. We get when we're in office, we get like company.
You gotta break down what that means because if some people that's on here, they hear unlimited paid time off, and they're like, limited paid time off.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, a lot of tech companies out there, it's just the industry is different, man.
it is, man.
A lot of tech companies do unlimited PTO. Pretty much how my last job, we accrued a certain amount of PTO over, bi-weekly or monthly. Tech, we don't have a PTO bank. We just can request off. It's unlimited. We don't have a bank. You don't accrue over time or nothing like that. But it's pretty much at your own leisure, which is very much it's a great benefit. But yeah, we get when we in office, we get like a company incentive for like DoorDash for lunch. They give you like a $30 per day incentive. So lunch every day on them. They give you like a health and wellness kind of incentives, like gym memberships and like cell phone, internet, stuff like
Yeah,
that. It's a lot of things that's pretty cool. I'll be like, and I ain't never worked for no company that's done no thing. So that's pretty cool.
yeah, bro. Yeah, I love it
Yeah.
so much. I did a stream with my Discord community, a techpreneur community, we did a stream last week with this dude named Tay on Tech. He's a popular tech influencer, and he broke down for us all the different ways you can make money outside of like working your job in tech. He broke down other ways you can make money from your company, and it was actually really crazy. Like he broke down basically how you could become a millionaire just from working your job in tech. And I mean, literally like make $1 million from your tech company. And he broke down like what to do, how to negotiate it, all of that. And so, and I bring it up because I'm hearing like all the perks and things that you're mentioning. And when he came on and broke all of that stuff down for myself and the community, I was like, yo, it's so much more money and so many more perks in this industry that many of us don't even know about. It's actually really, really insane. I'm going to start talking about that more in the future on here because I know it's a lot of people here that are in tech now that are following. And it's like, all right, let's talk about the other ways, other things you can negotiate within your company, basically to build like real wealth beyond just your take home salary.
Right.
So that's fire, man. That you know all the different perks and things you have at your company. Yeah, unlimited PTO isn't, and I know you're not saying this, but I just want to clarify this for everybody else. Unlimited PTO isn't at every tech company, but there is not another industry that has as much unlimited PTO or has as much remote work or hybrid work as the tech industry. So yeah, just like you were saying earlier, the culture of the tech industry, generally speaking, for most companies, it's just very different. It's not
different.
Okay, you're way more.
It's different.
The way that it feels at the company, the way the way that you're talked to and treated. Like we all know racism, sexism, different biases exist. They will always exist. There's nowhere to go to escape it. Nevertheless, whenever I see people talking about any of that stuff they deal with in the tech industry, I like roll my eyes because I'm like, yo, you've been in tech way too long that you don't realize how much harder it is in non-tech companies. How other industries are, all the drama you got to deal with. It's like we really have it incredibly plush in the tech industry. It's actually really crazy.
For sure. And again, I worked in. I'm sorry to cut you off. Go ahead.
No, you're good. No, you're fine. Go ahead.
I was just like a rebuttal. I've worked in various different industries, and there's none other like tech. It's just different. Just to add on what you were speaking on, like it's very much a luxury as far as what they offer, as far as the culture, work-life balance. They really, really like are trying to grow. Like they have like employee, career development as far as like a career path or, to scale up to, to reach that trajectory is so high. The ceiling is like, it's no cap.
Yeah.
As they say, yeah, there's no cap to that ceiling to where you can exceed, as far as your career development.
Yo, that's so far, bro. I love it, man. Love it, man. So look, so we got a bunch of questions that people sent in, a bunch of questions and comments. So I definitely want to make sure we acknowledge some of these and are able to get through as many of these as we can within a reasonable amount of time. So we'll go ahead and get to some of these questions. And I definitely still want to follow up with any other tips or advice, but I think maybe through answering some of these questions, you'll be able to get some other nuggets for people as well. For people that are jumping in, that are popping in and are asking what boot camp or course did he do, on YouTube and LinkedIn, just click the drop down and you'll see the breakdown. You'll see the discount link, all of that. On Instagram, just comment SDR. You'll see the pinned comment. Comment that and you'll get the discount link to the boot camp he did. If you don't want to do tech sales, which is the role that we're talking about, the boot camp has a bunch of other roles as well. But tech sales is one of the highest paying jobs in tech that also is hiring a lot. That's always hiring. And yeah, usually they have a lot of remote or hybrid roles whenever you get hired in for tech sales. Also, y'all, last reminder I'm going to give y'all, tonight is the last night for VIP access for TechpreneurCon, which is a tech event hosted and produced by the Tech is New Black team and myself. It's happening in Atlanta next weekend.
Wish I could be there. Wish I could be
there. Yeah, you're going to be at the next one in the future.
Yeah.
Yeah, y'all. So definitely make sure y'all tap into it. For those that are looking to get jobs in tech, we do have some hiring opportunities that are going to be there at the event. For those that are already in tech, or you are a founder, or you're an aspiring tech founder, that is the lion's share purpose of the event. So definitely pull up. It's going to be a bunch of different tech influencers there, tech founders, executives. It's going to be some really cool stuff happening at the event. I don't want to spend too much time talking about it. But yeah, just on LinkedIn, YouTube, same thing. Go to the drop down. You'll see the link for you to register for access. Again, tonight's the last night for VIP access for the event. I want to be very clear about that. So make sure you hop on that ASAP. On LinkedIn, on Instagram, just comment tech event. And I have automation set up to where you'll get an automated message about it. Oh, last thing I'll say, y'all will notice that we request your email and phone number before you even get like actual access to the event to get your tickets. There's a few reasons why, but one reason I want to tell y'all, this is full transparency, and I promise y'all this is important what I'm saying. Y'all want to hear this. We are Tech is New Black. We're really working on growing our email and contact list. Y'all know we don't do any weird spam stuff. We're not going to be soliciting anything crazy, but we're growing our list because there are a lot of tech companies that are actually mass hiring. Like myself and my team are constantly talking to companies that are mass hiring, and they want to hire from our community. The thing is, though, tech companies, me having a large following is cool to them. But when it comes to tech events, they need to either see, one, how many people have bought tickets to an event already, or two, the tech companies, if they're going to sponsor what you're doing. Let's say you have an event, and let's say a lot of these tech companies, they won't even budge unless you have an email list of 10,000 people or 20,000 people. So we're focusing heavy on collecting a large email list, so that way we can let these companies know, hey, we have an email list of 10,000, 20,000 people. So if your company is mass hiring, we can send out these hiring opportunities, basically let everybody know about it. So whether we're talking hiring opportunities, we're talking tech companies sponsoring our events and us doing some really cool things. Y'all know the way I get down. 9 times out of 10, if I'm doing something and it's like, you know, promoting something or telling y'all about something, it's meant to help everybody so everybody wins and eats at the end of the day. So at least want to give y'all a heads up about that. So that way y'all kind of understand the why behind it. But also for those of you that start tech events in the future, or you start to grow a tech brand of yourself in the future, make sure that you are being cognizant of that to make sure you are growing an email list. Because if you're doing something that's giving back to people, then it's nothing wrong with you growing an email list. So that way you can directly give people resources and things that can really help them out a lot. Anyway, let's jump into these questions. So we're going to prioritize some of the questions that were already pre-submitted. All right, cool. All right, so all right, so Julian, what I'm going to do, whenever there's a question that is specific to you or something with tech sales or something with the boot camp, then I'll let you handle those questions just for the sake of time. And
yeah, sure.
If another question that doesn't relate at all, then if it just really doesn't relate even to the conversation at all, then I probably won't even address it. But if it doesn't relate specifically to like your scenario case, then I'll handle it. So,
all right, but
all right, y'all have to make sure y'all are putting your questions in the question section on Instagram. So I'm gonna go ahead and look on YouTube and LinkedIn instead while y'all are putting more questions in the bubble on Instagram. So someone asked, did you need clearance? So did you need clearance to get your job in tech?
No, I just got a general background check, of course. I didn't need security clearance. They do a deep dive, yes, background check though. You definitely can't, have any, felonies, things like that. But if you got to pass a background check, no security clearance.
Yeah, y'all don't need security clearances in most tech jobs, especially not for tech sales. It's usually only if you're doing gov tech. So super dope stuff. All right, so moving on from there, we got a comment from Trey Days, who also I could be tripping. At this point, I feel like I've interviewed so many people. I can't even remember who I've interviewed that they broke into tech recently or who's been in tech for 2 or 3 years. But Trey Days said, I would always choose GovTech for the travel opportunities. I just moved. Okay, my bad. That's just a comment he's saying to someone else. So, okay, cool. Yeah. So, Julian, what part of the US are you in? And also, what kind of tech company or what kind of company is your company? Like, what does your company actually do?
Yeah, good question. I'm located, I want to say, in the Northeast region, PA. If anybody's familiar with Pennsylvania, Pittsburgh, as far as my city. Uh, Also, my company particularly focuses on computer network security. If you want to get like a deep dive into as far as like our products and solutions, we specialize in like email protection, advanced threat protection, like security awareness training, things like that, like archiving and compliance, and believe it's like digital risk protection as well. So cybersecurity basically, but my
Oh,
company is headquartered based out of California, and just a no, actually I just missed it for Q1. They do like a onboarding, welcoming new hires. I believe in the beginning of the year they like fly out their new hires for like this onboarding, welcoming. It's like a family, great culture, man. They like
yeah.
fly them out to California for their onboarding, things like that. But I just missed it for Q1 because I came in the beginning of Q2.
Yeah, that's fire. I love that you're doing a tech sales job with a cybersecurity company. Y'all, I will say that's one of the best plays to run because cybersecurity companies, like, they are hot right now. They are crazy hot
Yep.
because the cybersecurity industry in general is hot. Like, everything is about security. I don't know if y'all saw recently, but Google and another company just got hacked. Like, Gmail and something else just got hacked very recently.
Yeah, I seen that.
So, one thing y'all have to understand, these tech companies lose billions of dollars every time they get hacked. The only thing that protects them is them investing in cybersecurity companies. And usually,
Correct.
cybersecurity companies either have like cybersecurity like software, and or they have a lot of cybersecurity engineers that many times they can contract or get contracted at other companies. Anyway, that being said, to do a tech sales job at a cybersecurity company, that's honestly where the big money is at, because the cybersecurity industry in tech is making crazy money right now. It's making almost as much money as the AI industry in tech is right now. And so it's I bring this up so that way y'all know to look at certain companies. So if you want to make bigger money in tech, then definitely like pay attention to the type of tech companies that you're applying to as well, because those are usually companies that have a deep bag, and those are the companies that have a incredibly low likelihood of doing layoffs and things like
Yep.
that,
That's
because
that's
they're
that's
making
major key. That's
yeah.
major key. Major key right there. That's yeah, you added that in there. But absolutely. Just to piggyback off what you said, like I said, it's been a long journey, but I want to say I feel like, on God's timing that it happened for me, I landed in an ideal situation as far as my path and my company that I'm at. It's a great company, one of the top cybersecurity tech companies out there. So, on God's timing, through hardships and journey, things like that, blessings come from that. And
Yeah.
yeah, I want to say as far as my company, I'm happy where I'm at because I believe in our products and solutions and things like that. And I know as far as within cybersecurity, it's in high demand, like very high. So I feel like I'm in a great position, and just looking to grow with my company. Absolutely.
Yo, that's incredible. Incredible. Oh, love that so much, bro. All right. So other questions we got, these are from some of the pre-submitted questions. Um, yes, so I'm assuming this must be for tech. This must be for TechPreneurCon. The question is, will there be companies hiring for SDR roles? I'm assuming you mean at our event. So yes, we will have people represented who are doing internal job referrals at the event. And SDR is one of the highest hiring roles that we're going to have represented there. So yeah, that'll definitely be there. Um, Are you still dropping a list of employers that will be present? Yeah, so you should have gotten an email. Everyone who's registered for the event, you should have gotten an email. But understand we're going to be sending out more emails. My team starts back working tomorrow, so definitely make sure you're checking your email, check your spam folder, all that good stuff. But check your emails tomorrow because the team is sending out emails to everybody about employers that'll be present, about speakers, all of that good stuff. We've updated the website with all of the speakers on it. Most of this going to be at the event. All right, so here we go. All right, that's an interesting question. All right, I'll throw this out there and see, I guess, how you would answer this, Julian. Someone asked, what tech business has the lowest barrier of entry? That's an interesting question. What tech business has the lowest barrier of entry?
That is a very interesting question. I might have to pass that to you. Honestly, I wouldn't have the accurate answer to know that. To be honestly, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like we just kind of sort of touched on it. So instead of thinking what business has the lowest barrier to entry, the better thing to look at is what tech job is hiring a lot, like is mass hiring, and also what type of companies to apply to that are usually mass hiring, especially for that role. And just like we talked about, one, he went the tech sales route, where tech sales is hiring like crazy. Tech sales is it's always one of the roles that gets like a lot of offers constantly, where companies are hiring for those roles, because a tech company struggles to make money if they don't have a tech sales team. And so most companies, that's how they make most of their money, is through tech sales. So it doesn't make sense unless someone is just not doing their job at all. It doesn't make sense for a company to do layoffs of tech salespeople, because laying off your salespeople is basically you're laying off the people that are bringing you money. So usually they only let someone go if those people are not performing. They're just not performing at all.
And it's performance based. You're here to perform. It's performance based. I mean, most tech roles you do get, a base salary, but you are there to meet metrics and KPIs, so you have to perform.
Yeah. All right, so let's get to Instagram. See if y'all finally put some questions in here. All right, so what website did you use to find your job?
LinkedIn. LinkedIn is your best friend, man. LinkedIn is where it's at. There are various different, I want to say, channels you can utilize as far as, searching for tech roles, I would say. But LinkedIn is where it's at. I be on LinkedIn more than any other social sites. LinkedIn is like your best friend. Optimize your LinkedIn, man, and connect and be active within those tech communities for sure. And join them Discords, join them webinars that people, tap in to that community. Just to have your name and face in that space is like build your knowledge up and just become competent with those skill sets, and just really, really build your LinkedIn.
Yeah. Cameron asked, Cameron's a part of the Techpreneur Discord community. He asked if Julian is a part of the community. No, Julian isn't a part of the Techpreneur community. And my bad, y'all. I do a very terrible job of promoting the Techpreneur community. But we do have a tech community. It's called Techpreneurs, very similar to the event we have coming up called TechpreneurCon. So the Techpreneur community, we weekly have on either a tech recruiter or a tech career coach that teaches the community how to further or faster break into the tech industry, or scale further, or make money different ways. We have a bunch of different resources in terms of other ways to make money in tech, all that good stuff. And obviously this community of people that are sharing companies that are hiring, internal referrals, recommending people within the community to their companies, and a variety of other things. And so anyone who's interested in joining our tech community, you just need to comment the word community on Instagram, comment community on YouTube and LinkedIn. You would have to you'd have to go to the Tech is New Black website, because I don't have a link in the description for it. But yeah, we do have a community. The community is just $27, just $27 a month. And it comes with a bunch of other stuff other than what I mentioned. But we're going to be doing some really cool stuff in the future. But no, I don't think now Julian isn't in the community.
I will be joining y'all. Believe that.
Good stuff. Love it, love it. Oh yeah, and also for everybody that is in the community that's here right now, I don't know if y'all saw the notice. We are going to be streaming. If you're not going to be making it out to TechpreneurCon, we will have a streaming option for community members. So those are in the community, and you also have a dedicated host. So there will be a live host the entire conference. There's going to be walking around interviewing people at the conference specifically for those of y'all that are in the community. Of course, y'all will get access to everything happening on the main stage and a bunch of other cool stuff. But literally from the comfort of your home, y'all will have access to TechpreneurCon for community members. And so anyway, let me stop talking about this stuff and get back to the conversation. Let's see. Is this all based? So I'll get to that question in a minute. Real estate by Latanya. All right. So Queen Garda asked, how long did it take for you to land a job again? And if you can answer that, but then also answer part of why it took you so long or why you believe it took you so long again, so people can catch that part too.
Yeah, me personally, I believe, well, first part of the question, took me relatively since I completed the boot camp, about I want to say 14 months. Was that 14 or 15 months? But within that time frame, I believe, within myself, I didn't land a job sooner because of various different reasons, personal reasons as well. But mainly simply put, I wasn't applying myself as being diligent as much as I could, as best as I could. And until the top of this year, honestly, I just really honed in and started to really focus and, build my competency on as far as my skill sets and optimizing my resumes, things like that. And just really focusing on trying to make that pivot. And it worked out for me, luckily.
I see a comment here that's actually kind of crazy. So I want to be sensitive to your situation, because I'm sure if you commented this, you must really be going through something. So definitely I want to make sure that I'm sensitive to whatever you're dealing with right now. But I see your comment where you said LinkedIn is a scam. LinkedIn is not a scam. Like it can't be a scam. That doesn't make sense. That's like saying Instagram is a scam. It's like LinkedIn is a social media platform where its main focus is for business, corporate, and it's very tech industry focused because LinkedIn itself is a tech platform. So LinkedIn is perfect for people that are in the tech industry for a variety of numerous reasons. So I don't understand what you mean by it being a scam. You said premium isn't a must-have. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I would say premium isn't a must-have, but I can say that I had premium before when I did the boot camp, I ended up signing up for premium with LinkedIn. But yeah, you can't call LinkedIn a scam. I do want to let me say this to you, and again, I know you're not being rude. I know that you're probably frustrated and upset because you're working towards getting in tech right now. But I do want to say this: be very careful, and it's for everybody here. Be very careful, y'all, to not have like a dark mentality. That mentality that many times people end up having when you spend a lot of time on platforms where there's a lot of negativity and people are just mad because either they don't have a job in tech or they're upset about something, where it's festering, where it's a lot of people that are just talking trash and they're like, nobody's hiring, or they don't want to hire me because I'm black, or because I'm a woman, or whatever. You got to stay away from those platforms, because you will never get opportunity in a place where around complainers. Like if you're around people, the only people that are hanging around complainers are complainers and or people who are not going to be successful. Successful people, whether you're talking tech career, you're talking business, whatever it is, successful people do not sit around complainers and just hang around complainers, because they understand that drags you down. So definitely make sure, just for everybody, make sure that you're not allowing any negativity to fester your mentality, because that can not just cloud or affect your work ethic towards you pursuing a career in tech, but it subconsciously can affect your confidence even in interviews, even when you're talking to recruiters and other people. And your confidence is honestly the thing that probably matters the most outside of any education that you have for a role. Because if you don't seem confident, especially in a tech sales role, you're not going to get the job. Because literally, if they're hiring for a tech sales role, they're expecting you to sell the company's software, and they look how you act during the interview. They imagine that's how you will act with the company's prospects and clients. So you have to make sure that you're confident. And the number one thing that destroys confidence is when you are feeding your mind with negativity of thinking that something isn't going to work out or it's a scam or anything like that. Like you have to dismiss all of that stuff. So definitely be around people, listen to different testimonies, talk to people that got jobs in tech through LinkedIn. Like talk to people that are where you want to be at, not people that are complaining that they're never going to get to a certain place. Actually, on that, Julian, I want to ask if you could touch on that a bit, because obviously, like I mentioned before, you took the longest in terms of getting a job in tech from anyone I've ever spoken to. And obviously, you talked about why that was. You definitely would have got in sooner had you applied yourself the same way you finally did at the beginning of this year. You was like, yo, all right, I got a reason now to really, really turn it up. I'm sure you saw, maybe you did, but I'm assuming you saw a lot of people on LinkedIn that were saying things like no one is hiring right now, or this boot camp stuff isn't legit, or whatever. What are some things that you saw online, and what did you do to help maintain a positive outlook and motivation?
Yeah, great question. I definitely felt discouraged at some points. I want to say during that process and journey, just within myself personally, and also from seeing, like sometimes layoffs or feeling like, I've witnessed testimonials on your platform as well, looking outside, looking in. Like I never had the mindset of why them and not me. You know what I mean? I think although it's a very competitive market, there's still room for everybody to eat, basically, if you will. And I don't want to stray too far away from the question, but just having that mindset of staying diligent, staying focused, staying really really honing in on really what you want to do as far as making that transition, and also having like just that positive demeanor about yourself, feeling like although there is some downside or cons, like maybe they're having layoffs, or I've seen witness people online saying they're not hiring, or just all those different aspects. You just got to really really feel like it's possible, keep that faith and just really really stay focused. Honestly, it's like it's easier said than done, trust me, I know. But it can happen. It's doable. You know what I mean? Trust me, I'm living proof, and I'm no different from no one else. I'm no special than anybody else. If I can do it, anybody can do it. Trust me.
Yeah.
And it's doable if you just really stay focused, block out all the noise, block out all the negativity as far as people thinking like no one's hiring. I've seen that online as well on LinkedIn. And I've applied to over probably 250 companies. I wasn't getting interviews. I wasn't getting past the first round. I wasn't, I felt discouraged at some points, but always in the back of my mind, I'm a very optimistic person. And I feel like whenever it's my due season, my time will come. So in the meantime, I sat back, I clapped for others. I was inspired, stay motivated, stay focused. And you feel like when your time comes, be ready for it. And I felt like even though it took over a year, God put me in this position because he's like, now I'm ready for it. You're ready for it to make this transition. And this is your time now. So
Yeah.
that's how I look at it.
Yeah, I love that so much. Greatness. Greatness. I'm going to. All right. So my bad, greatness. You said I skipped over your whole comment before you spoke on LinkedIn, but cool. So it's weird reading things through text, because many times I think I'm sensing a hint of like passive aggressiveness. I could be entirely wrong because this is Texas social media, and I'm like hella tired. So I don't want to assume that you're being negative or being rude. I'll say this greatness because basically your question in a nutshell. I scrolled up and saw your question. You said it's been over. You said you've been applying, and it's been over a year for you. You said you have a master's degree and a good criminal record. So a couple things. Let me touch on this really for everybody. Your degree is irrelevant depending on what it's really about what your degree is in. I could have a PhD, I could have a doctorate in something that has nothing to do with anything in tech. That's irrelevant to the tech company. So many times, and I'm not saying you're doing this greatness, I'm just speaking in a broad sense. Many times, because y'all know I don't have a college degree. He didn't go to college. And so we talk about this. A degree is irrelevant unless it's specific to the role in tech that you're applying to. And that's why I preach like bump degrees. Like college is a scam. Like we know this. And I think at this point, everybody's pretty aware that college is just a scam. And it's a scam unless you're doing something like, being a lawyer or being a medical doctor or doing something that's specific, being a civil engineer or something like that. But if we're talking software engineer, tech sales, cybersecurity, and a variety of these other roles we talk about, you don't need to go to college. If anything, it's stupid to go to college because you're going to rack up all of this debt.
Yep.
I mean, for 1,000 reasons, it just doesn't make any sense. And so, anyway, so let me get off that. So you don't need college for it. But I would say this greatness, and I'm going to assume you haven't done this. Maybe you have. I would encourage you to book a coaching call with someone like Shanae, who's on here. She goes by Recruiter Cousin. You can look her up on LinkedIn. You could book a coaching call with her. I don't do too many coaching calls anymore because I'm so busy with our techpreneur community. So we do a lot of internal stuff within our community. I would invite you into the community greatness, but I do want to say that we're really big on people being positive vibes in the community, stuff like that, because we're here to help people in the techpreneur community. But we do have 2 to 4 recruiters that come on within the community every month. So you could get a lot of coaching and questions answered. We have tech recruiters and talent sourcers that are in our community as well that are answering questions. So you can get all of these resources and much more that I'm even mentioning within the community. And I'm not telling you to join the community. I'm just giving you an alternative option outside of you booking a one-on-one with the recruiter. But I will say that someone has to do a full breakdown. There's a lot of things I can ask you. Like you say LinkedIn is a scam. It's like, okay, well, I know for a fact that you're not optimizing LinkedIn properly if you're saying LinkedIn is a scam. So one, you need someone to give you coaching on your LinkedIn. I don't know what your resume looks like. I'm assuming your resume is pretty good or pretty decent, but you could have someone, of course, look at your resume. I don't know how you interview, your interview style. Even if you're a confident person, we got to ask a bunch of questions like, okay, even details like what does your camera look like during your interview? Because if you're interviewing with a recruiter and your camera's, off like this, or it's like this, or something weird, or if you're too far away or too up close, or if you have an ugly background, or if your lighting is bad, like there are 1,000 things we could talk through when it comes to like what aesthetically your interview looks like. And also, what are you saying and doing during the interviews? What is your posture like? Are you too professional? Are you way too chill? Like where is that in between at? And so, and I'm mentioning a few things, but we could delve in a lot deeper in terms of, okay, what does your networking look like at tech events? What tech events are you going to, if you're going to any at all? It's like piece by piece by piece. So I can't fully answer your question because that question warrants me asking you 1,000 questions. And that's why I encourage you to book a coaching call or one-on-one with someone. If these streams that we do, these free streams where people come on and tell their stories aren't enough to help you, then I would encourage you to definitely go that route. And hopefully that works out for you. God bless. And I was going to say Godspeed, but God bless. And hopefully Yeah, good stuff. Yeah, yeah. And I'm like I mentioned, y'all, I'm like really tired. So I'm trying to get better at not clapping back on social media. I'm really trying to be a better Christian on social media because I definitely been spazzing out a little bit lately. So I'm working on just being more loving and more graceful. Y'all have grace for me as I'm in my journey of being more Christ-like online and yeah, just being a better person in that sense. So all right, you said no, brother. I'm good, fam. Okay, cool. Yeah. And so, all right. So greatness.
He's going
Okay, cool.
crazy in the comments.
It's fine. It's fine. You know, it's a really sensitive situation, and I get where you're at, greatness. For it's a really sensitive situation. Look, I love you, and I see a recruiter cousin Shanae is talking to you. So yeah, we definitely, definitely want to help you out. We're a community. The goal is for us to like help one another, so all of us can win, all of us can make money. That's why we do these streams, these tech testimonies. It's to help one another out.
Right.
So yeah, I'm definitely gonna be praying for you. Like seriously, I'm definitely gonna lift you up in prayer. Greatness, just for you to, yeah, just overall.
There's enough room for everybody to win. I can tell you that.
Yeah, it really is. It really, really is.
It's solely
All
up
right,
to
y'all.
you, the individual.
All right, so let's get to a couple more of these questions, and we're gonna go ahead and wrap up, wrap this thing up. Let's see. Oh yeah, my bad. I didn't. I'm really bad at mentioning or promoting things. I'm really good at promoting tech boot camps and how to get in tech, but when it comes to the anything that myself or the Tech Zoo Black team is doing, I'm not the best at promoting stuff that I'm putting on. But someone asked, how can I upgrade my ticket? So yeah, if you want to upgrade your ticket to the community, or not the community, God, to the tech event, if you want to upgrade your ticket to TechpreneurCon, I'm going to create a trigger word so you can upgrade it. So just DM me if you're interested in upgrading your ticket, because we do have a upgraded link for you to upgrade from general to VIP, so you can get the full 2-day access to the event and everything else that comes with it.
Yeah, hopefully I can make the next one, because being at tech events is very beneficial. You can, build that network, and that it's all upside, and those connections and everything. So I would love to be at the next one.
Someone asked you, Julian, if you can give your full name. So I guess they want to connect with you on LinkedIn. So what is your LinkedIn name?
First name is Julian, Julian. Last name Zellers, Z as in zebra, ELLARS. It's my LinkedIn. Yeah, optimizing your LinkedIn is major key. Having it specifically tailored to whatever business you're in as far as your industry, and as far as focused on just being competent within your skill sets.
Yeah. So someone asked, what do you suggest for someone breaking into tech, how to navigate through the conference? So not just TechpreneurCon, I'll give a broad answer for every tech event. So for everybody, when you are looking to get a job, so when you're going to a tech event and you're looking to get a job, let's give two scenarios. Let's say you're going to a tech event where they actually have like companies that are hiring that are there, which is not very common, because I'll be very real, y'all. Most of us go to tech events looking for jobs when the actual purpose of a tech event isn't to be a career fair.
Network.
It's for networking, and it's to talk about technology and talk about changes in the industry, to sometimes display new technology, new software, new equipment, new hardware, robots, things like that. Most Black tech events are more hiring opportunities. Most tech events that are not Black tech events are the opposite. They're not really hiring opportunities. So anyway, that being said, let's say you go to a tech event that doesn't have a bunch of hiring opportunities, because this is most tech events. Again, we'll have some at TechpreneurCon where the companies are mass hiring. But let's say either way, you go to a tech event, what you want to do is when you are connecting with people, of course, be polite, be respectful to everybody. but definitely prioritize talking to people that are already in tech. Don't prioritize just talking to recruiters and hiring managers. Talk to people that are already in tech. And then when you're speaking to them, whenever they tell you what their company, their company that's hiring, of course, connect with them on LinkedIn. Look really quickly on their company's LinkedIn, and LinkedIn will automatically show you if that company is hiring for the role in tech that you are interested in. But of course, you have to make sure you have it in your LinkedIn settings. So that way, LinkedIn will highlight the roles that company's hiring for that you specifically want, or are at least closest to what you want. Of course, once you see that, let the person know, say, hey, I see your company's hiring for this role. If your company is doing referral bonuses, I would love if we could do a win-win for each other. If you could recommend me as an internal referral, and I can use you as a reference when I apply, and that way, if I get hired, you'll get the referral bonus. Now, that's a very huge thing to do, because most referral bonuses with most tech companies is anywhere in the low thousands of dollars, but sometimes $10,000 plus. It depends on the seniority of the role. So I know people who they make a lot of money. I'll just leave it that way. They make a lot of money just referring people to their companies. So too often people go to people asking them, hey, can you refer me to your company? You're just thinking about you. You need to think, okay, how does this benefit the person that you're talking to? So go to them. If you're talking to people, see if their company's hiring, and then pitch it to them in that way where it's like, yo, I want to make sure you get the referral bonus, and I'm hoping that with your internal referral, I have a higher likelihood of getting the job. So do that when you're at events. Don't focus so much on people that are also looking for jobs. Don't focus so much on just connecting with everyone on LinkedIn who doesn't have jobs or who aren't in tech. Not saying act funny or bougie and be like, oh, don't talk to me because you ain't got a job in tech yet. But
Yeah.
respectfully prioritize people that are where you want to be at, or at a company that has a hiring opportunity. So also connect with those people as well. Going back to LinkedIn optimization, if you are properly optimizing your LinkedIn, posting content on there that's original content, not just resharing content, but posting content of things that after connecting with the people at the event, and you're posting that content and interacting and engaging with them on LinkedIn, your content will automatically be seen by the people that they're connected with on LinkedIn. So now you haven't just tapped into that person, you've tapped it into their network on LinkedIn, who now is going to see your content, and you have a higher likelihood of having more recruiters, hiring managers, and others hitting you up. I'm oversimplifying the actual process, but on a high level, definitely connect with people that have jobs or are tech founders, and make sure you're not just connecting with them on LinkedIn, but you are engaging with them in the comments under their posts, and definitely whenever they comment on your post. But you got to be posting to give people something to even comment on to begin with.
For sure. Say something yeah, just to piggyback off of what you're saying, LinkedIn is like everything. It's the best thing that ever happened to me. It's your best friend. Utilize it. Trust me, and be proactive as far as, within those communities, or like I said, I can't stress this enough. Join them webinars or join those Discords, be active as far as, building those connections, and definitely use it to your advantage, because it's there for you to really help your own self, your platform, and, potentially your career development. And you never know as far as who you connect with, who can potentially, give you a referral, or in the future can help you, actually get into a new role, or that person may have a connection. So LinkedIn is a beautiful engagement tool. It's beneficial. And honestly, I use LinkedIn more than any other social sites. For sure.
Yeah, if I didn't have Tech is a New Black and we were doing the work that we're doing, I would be on Instagram so very little. I would just be on LinkedIn, because that's where the opportunities are at. It's really huge. And if you're a founder, if you're a business owner, same thing. You need to be on LinkedIn. LinkedIn's amazing. So Shanae, who is Recruiter Cousin, she said, that's how I hired one of my candidates in Atlanta. It's because someone I was connected with commented on my post, and they saw it, I connected them with the hiring leader and they got hired. So I'm telling you,
That's
I'm not
dope.
capping when I say this.
That's dope.
Again, Shanae's a well-known tech recruiter at a big tech company. And so that's why I tell y'all, you have to be optimizing LinkedIn. And optimizing doesn't just mean applying to companies and messaging people. That means it's a social media platform. You have to be socializing with people. Just through you socializing, you get job opportunities like crazy. That's why most of the job opportunities that I got, that I've gotten, it wasn't companies I applied to. The overwhelming majority, like as a sales engineer, actually every job I've gotten, everything I've done in tech, after my first job, it was to companies that reached out to me or they found me. Every single one. And they found me through LinkedIn. And it's because I was engaging, interacting. So when we say like, yo, actually optimize your LinkedIn, that's a legitimate thing. That's not just like, oh yeah, it's kind of cool if you do it. It's like, no, that's really where it's at for real, for real.
It's like your resume, just honestly.
Yeah, LinkedIn is meant to replace your resume. A lot of people do believe that we're nearing a future where I would tell y'all, I almost want to say every single one, but most interviews that I've been in, the recruiter or hiring manager didn't even look at my resume until the interview. They would look over it during the interview. The reason why they reached out to me or they connected with me, they looked at my LinkedIn before they even looked at my resume. And they were like, yeah, we want to interview this dude off my LinkedIn. So you got to make sure that you're optimized. I've jumped in interviews where people were like, oh my God, we saw your content on LinkedIn. Oh, you're so funny, or we love your content. You know from there that you got the job. Now all you got to do is follow through. So if you're posting content that shows you're knowledgeable, and we talk about this a lot more in our Techpreneur Discord community, but if you're posting content that shows you're knowledgeable and likable, those are the two biggest things.
And like competent. And competent for sure.
Yeah, competent too. Yeah, those pieces.
You have to be.
You're gonna kill it in them interviews.
Yeah, and most importantly, I'll add on to interviewing process. Please do your due diligence and learn about the company you're interviewing about. That's very important. And also know about their products, their solutions, and just really, you're doing yourself a disservice if you don't really hone in on what company you're applying to, what's their products, and pretty much, having that understanding, that deep, profound knowledge, understanding of what you can offer as far as within your role, and why should they choose you? Because you're not the only one applying. It's very competitive. So it's like, what sets you apart? What makes you unique, and what differentiates you from the competition? And that's very, very important. And you have to be able to communicate that effectively in an interview as far as how you are, as far as what sets you apart, honestly, what makes you unique.
Yeah, those are big facts. Big facts. So look, y'all, we about to go ahead and wrap up. Before we do, though, I do want to, even though I know, Julie, you're just talking, I definitely want to give you the floor for anything else that you want to share with everybody. Anything that you haven't gotten to share, or something that you feel is important nugget of wisdom that could really help someone out.
We pretty much went over a lot of great detail. I would say, as far as the course careers, is very beneficial. They give you a very in-depth understanding to the course material, as far as teaching the students of the latest industry's best practices. They have an active Discord community within course careers that you can navigate and be proactive within the community. And they have a lot of mentorship. You can do one-on-one coaching, things like that. They have live support for learning the material. A lot of also, if you complete the course, I believe they also, and you take the exam and you score a certain score, they also have partner companies as well, partner employees, and that's pretty cool as well. So it's a great course. It's affordable. No degrees, no experience necessary. You can do installments, payment plans. what, 400 total cost. If you use my guys discount as far as your referral, they get it what, 50 bucks off.
Yeah. So it just makes it $449.
Yeah.
And even if you're on the payment plan, you still will get the discount off.
Very affordable, no contracts, very flexible. You can do it self-paced. They give you all knowledge and skill sets and really, really a deep, profound understanding of those particular roles. I believe they offer tech sales, IT, software development, like data analytics. So it's a great course, and it definitely is a good look to those companies once you're able to put that, on your resume, on your and really optimize it, tailored to that specific role. It's a good look because it takes a deep dive into that particular skill set, which is why, going back to what you said, even a college degree, sometimes tech companies are not really looking for that. Yeah. These boot camps offer that knowledge for that particular tailored skill set. Yeah. So, hey, man, take advantage of it. I'm glad I did. It turned out the way, luckily, it did. And I'm just looking to, grow within my career path in the tech field. And honestly, it's the best pivot I could have ever made. And there's room for everybody. It's just competitive. It ain't going to be easy. It ain't going to be handed to you. Most people think, oh, I completed the course. Let me just apply. And it's going to fall in your lap. It's not going to happen like that. You have to do the work. You have to really apply yourself, be diligent. And, good luck to everybody. I want to see everybody win as well. I want to thank you for inspiring me. Your journey and your path resonated with myself. Honestly, I related to your story, and I've been, tapping into LinkedIn, even Recruiter Cousin. I follow, I'm connected with her. I be getting all those gems, honestly. LinkedIn is where it's at. It ain't no scam. Trust me.
Yeah, I love it so much. Hey, look, and I also want to shout out not just Julian, but everybody here in the comments that's helping one another, because it's much bigger than myself. It's much bigger than Tech as a New Black. It's bigger than even Recruiter Cousin. It's really all of us coming together, all of us being resources. So thank y'all. Those of y'all that are already in tech that jump on these streams and are in the comments helping people out, because y'all don't have to do it. Y'all are deeply appreciated, because it's all of us really help one another, so we can all become wealthy, become successful, and really live the lives that we desire to live. So I appreciate everybody for coming together, and that's just helping one another out. That's really what it's about at the end of the day. Yeah, y'all. So look, again, tonight is the last night to get VIP for TechPreneurCon. It's the last couple of days where we're going to have any type of access at all. So if you join in on a live late and you missed out on the news, comment Tech Event if you're on Instagram so you can get the link to access for the event. If you're on YouTube or LinkedIn, then you have to look at the description underneath the video, the drop down, so that way you can tap on the link and get access to the event. And so aside from that, if you're interested in doing the boot camp that he did, specifically the course he did as well, on Instagram, comment SDR, that's Sierra Delta Romeo. Comment SDR, and you'll get the automation will send over the link in the breakdown for the discount link for the bootcamp for you. Same thing on LinkedIn and YouTube. Just go to that drop down and you'll see the information in there for you to get the discount link, because the discount is attached to the link. Aside from that, y'all, make sure y'all keep tapping into the content. Tech as New Black, we have a lot of content from interviews with a lot of recruiters like Shanae and others, where use those resources to help make yourself stand out above everybody else that's doing those boot camps. Put yourself really ahead of the market. Aside from that, look forward to seeing everybody that's going to be at TechPreneurCon. Thank you again, Julian. Appreciate you so much, bro, for taking time out to come on here and being a blessing to others the same way Anthony O'Neill's content or my content has been a blessing to you, bro. It's beautiful seeing somebody paying it forward to help others out.
Absolutely. I appreciate you having me, and I appreciate your time as well. And again, you inspire me like many others as well. And, someone maybe hear my story or my journey and take the same, grasp to my story as well, how I took from yours. So it's a blessing, and again, I can't stress this enough. Everybody can win. I want to see everybody win. And, he's paving the way. You paving the way. You open the doors. You're the advocate for those blessings. So we appreciate you. You know what I mean?
Love it, bro. I love it, bro. All right, y'all. Look, everybody, y'all have a blessed, beautiful night. I'll be praying for y'all. And I'll be praying for you, greatness.
Godspeed, right?
Yeah.
Hey, man, I appreciate you, my guy.
All right, y'all. You have a good night.